Hi everyone, in this screencast I'm just going to show you my favorite tools under shape generators and explain why I love them. Okay, so first thing, of course, I always go ahead and I set my grid to my MakerBot 2. I update that and I change my properties on my file name to something that's more relevant so that it's easily identifiable. Once that's set, I'm going to go ahead and under shape generators we have three menus. We have your shape generators where you can code in Java your own shapes. Those shapes can be uploaded by anybody to community. So community is vast and there's lots of different shapes up there, but they're not tested. Some of them are memory intensive, some of them crash, some of them don't work well, and some work fantastically. I tend to keep my students away from the community with the exception of one project where it's a very open project where they're allowed to pretty much do what they wish. And that's when they can explore in there. But I tend to keep them away from that just because it's an untested territory. The ones that I do like, however, is under Tinkercad. These are created by Peter the Penguin at Pier 9 at Autodesk. So I'm going to start with the Polygon. The Polygon is fantastic because it gives you the ability to change however number sides you need to your shape. So you just make the adjustment and it adjusts here on the screen. It does take a minute for it to update, but it is fantastic. You can change the size of your object, the height of your object, pointed or unpointed. Unpointed means that it's just flat. It's fantastic. It is the quickest and easiest way to make a triangle. Often students need a triangle, and if you look under the geometric shapes menu, you'll see that there is no straight up triangle. I mean, the roof kind of, but yeah, the polygon is fantastic. So students often will go there for their triangle. I'm going to skip image generator because, well, it's memory intensive and I avoid using it with the kids. The Voronoi. I'm not quite sure why we have this. It's a fantastic little tool. It makes great patios, but I just want to point out that you can see that there's blue highlighting between every single piece. And if you recall from my other videos, the blue highlighting means that that's a hard edge, and it means that all of these pieces they're interconnected, but they're not touching. So when you print them, they come off the print bed as separate pieces. It's kind of like printing a puzzle and then trying to figure out how to put it back together. So if students were to use this object, I have them take a box, stretch it out, make it just 1 millimeter thick. That's all that they need, just a base. Change the work plane, and then select the Voronoi, hit D for drop, and it puts it right on the work plane. And then I can move it in place, change the size again of that little base, put my work plane by hitting W on the keyboard, back down low, group them together, and now I have a neat puzzle shape that is all together, that won't fall apart, and can now be scaled and moved accordingly. Okay, so that's that shape. Going back up so we have text. Now text is tricky and sometimes it works fantastic and sometimes we get a bit of an error on it, but I like the text in that I can type in exactly what I want. It keeps it aligned. I can change the height. I can adjust the height here. There's my error. Sometimes this error will come up that a problem occurred. It's just regenerating. Generally it goes away. If it continues to happen, you're going to want to delete the text and replace it. But I can go in here and I can change my font type. And that's something that the kids really enjoy being able to do. So vanilla is a popular one in my classroom. So it's just something that's there and available, and you can resize it and rescale it any way you need to, your students can. And of course it can be made into a whole as well. Okay. The next one is your extrusion tool. just going to pan up a little bit. Control Shift allows me to pan up on my Mac. Using the Extrusion Tool is a way of making those odd shapes. Yes, it keeps the cylinder shape. However, did you want a Nike swipe? Right. So you can kind of play with it. Okay. I get a lot of Nike swipes from this. Okay. Pretty much anything, any kind of shape that you want that is not circular, you can create with this. Okay, so it's great for creating mouths. It's great for, gosh, anything. The kids have so much fun with it. The further you pull out the handles, the longer it gets. You have your grips. Just have fun with it, play with it. It is a fantastic tool, and the kids love it once they know what it can do. And of course, you have your standard height grips, so you can move the height as well. Okay, and then lastly, we have the ring. And the ring, it just allows us the height, diameter, and same thing as our extrusion, we can actually make it quite a bit different in shape as we adjust it here as well. Okay. So those are the customizable shapes that the kids have available to them. They're very helpful and kids really enjoy using them. So let them have at it. Thanks.